My name is Schwartz, and this is my professional portfolio. In this portfolio, I will be discussing my Strengthfinder results. I will then be discussing the few things I was able to take away from the book, 10 things employers want you to learn in college. After that, I will be going over my undergrad career as a whole. And to wrap things up, I will be talking about my next step in my professional career and where I want to be. First off, I would like to go over my Strengthfinder results, and my 5 strengths are responsibility, significance, relator, and individualization. Starting off, number 1, responsibility. To me, this was a big one. I'm not surprised I got this one in my results because growing up, my parents always really kind of hammered in my head to be responsible, to make good decisions, and this trait seemed to be really all about that in this strength. So I was really happy to hear that this was one of my strengths. Along with this strength, the results said that people who have this strength often say what they do and value honesty and loyalty. That really makes a lot of sense to me. I like being able to say that, hey, this is what I'm going to do, here's my plan, and just see that plan come to fruition. It's a really good feeling for me. I like being responsible. Even when I make a mistake, I like being able to stand up and say, hey, I made a mistake. I think that really comes through with showing character in yourself and having integrity. So I really was happy to see that I had this result come through my strength. Number 2, command. With this trait, I was pretty kind of not really surprised, but I didn't think it would be my top 5, but I like being command. I think command is about knowing what to do, having a plan, and having the experience to carry out that plan. You could be in any situation and keeping your composure and having a plan to take control and say, this is where we are, this is where we need to be, we need to get there now, this is how we're going to do it. Taking control of a situation. It's something I like to do. I like being able to make decisions in times of need, in times of crisis, because you may have a plan and, things go wrong, obviously. Everything goes wrong. This falls through, that falls through, your plan gets out of whack. I like being able to step in and go on the fly and stay focused. Having that ability to lead that situation out of crisis, even if it's on a small scale or a bigger scale, having command and knowing what to do is really good. And I think I do express that. But like I said, at first I didn't really feel like that was me, but until I read the info on it, I thought, yeah, that's me. Third on the list is significance. I definitely can say that's me. The info on it talked about being important in eyes of others and standing out. Currently, my current position is a PCA at a hospital. Being a male in healthcare, especially on the patient care side, it's not very common. There are a few here and there. There are plenty of, but it's definitely a female-dominated occupation. I feel like standing out as a male kind of pushes me further to do a better job, because I feel like being a male, a 6'2", 250-something pound guy with hairy arms really stands out, and I have to kind of like, I feel like it pushes me more to really do a good job, because I feel like that pushes me a lot more to doing a better job, because I want to stand out for my work. I do like to stand out. I feel like I'm always myself, and it's both good and bad at times, or indifferent. But I really try to stick to myself, and the best advice that I received that I could give anybody was always be yourself. That's all anyone can ask of you. And I feel like as far as an employee, as a professional, that applies there too. Being important in the eyes of others, I value as well. I like to be needed. I like to be counted on and know that I can be a go-to for somebody. So going the extra mile to stand out, ultimately, it's better for me in the long run, and it's better for those who have the same trait, is to always be yourself. That's the one thing I can tell somebody to always do, is always be yourself, no matter what. Number 4, this one was relator, and this one was all about having that close relationship with somebody and having that bond with somebody. As an employee and as a person, I like being close to people. Yeah, I try and be nice to everybody, but I really ideally like to have a few close work friends that I can really like kind of lean on and go and enjoy working with them even more. It's not playing favorites. I don't see that, but it's really, truly getting along with everybody. But having, like I said, having that close group of people that you can really like go to and like really bond with, and it just makes the job easier and doing your daily tasks easier and bonding with them. I've always had close friends at work and throughout all my jobs, and there's been times where it's been kind of a struggle to make friends sometimes because there's always people there that you don't get along with. But ideally, I like having that close bonds with people, and it really makes my job a little more satisfying, knowing that it makes the day seem like it's fun instead of a job. It takes the job part out of it and makes it more like you're just hanging out with your friends, but also doing your job. Number 5, individualization. This one was all about having that unique skill of being able to put people together and see how they work and put the right pieces together as far as like getting people to work together. After reading the description of this one, I'm not surprised at all because I feel like I'm a very observant person. I listen and take in more than I actually talk. For those who know me, I'm not much of a socializer. I kind of observe and read people. I feel like I've gotten a good skill at that. As a person, I'm definitely more an observer. I like to read people and see how they interact with others and seeing what makes them good, what makes them bad. Pros and cons to everybody, good habits and bad. I'm definitely an observer, like I said. I'm very intrigued and with people's qualities and what makes them themselves. I believe that everyone is different. Everyone can work together. You just have to find the right pieces to fit a skill that I have. Top 5 skill, I don't know, but the Strengthfinder says that it's that. But I definitely, like I said, I'm definitely an observer, and I definitely like that I can read people and kind of find out qualities, kind of see qualities that others excel at and don't excel at, and I feel like if I had the opportunity to manage or to kind of construct a team, I feel like I would do a good job of mixing and collaborating the right people for the right task. But like I said, top 5, is this strength top 5 for me? This says yes, but I really don't think that, but I'll take it. Next on the list I want to talk about, this guy right here. 10 things employers want you to learn in college. Now, the 10 things are taking responsibility, developing physical skills, communicating verbally, communicating in writing, working directly with people, influencing people, gathering information, using quantitative tools, asking and answering the right questions, and solving problems. The few things I was able to take away from this book, I really like having that in an everyday mindset. First off, communicating verbally. Also, when you're talking, if you have, say, a PowerPoint presentation to go off of or a poster board, I feel like it makes me a little more comfortable with not being so nervous to talk in front of others, or I know that they're focused on the board and less focused on me, or they're more focused on the PowerPoint slide and less focused on their eyes on me. And plus, like, I can, if I get too nervous and off track, I can keep my eyes on the board there and stay on track and really do a good job with my project. So that one I really was like, oh yeah, I do that. Like, I feel like that I'm really good at that. So that was one of the few things that I really felt like I apply the most. The second thing on there that I was able to take away that I thought really applied to today's world was communicating in writing. Now we live in a very online world. Everything's online. You can write blogs. We communicate a lot online. Whether it's like Facebook, social media, Twitter, videos or anything, and even email. It's been around for years now, and I feel like email is very common. Everybody does it. It's free to use. It's so common in every household. You can do it on your phone, and I feel like to communicate effectively, you need to write well and write neat. And I feel like no matter who you are, whether you're in a small mom and pop shop, craft store, or a big Fortune 500 company, if you communicate by email, you are most effective. I feel like you're most effective if you use good spelling and you use good grammar. No one will really take you serious, no matter if you're writing a praise post or if you're a hater online, or whatever you are, whatever it is you're typing. I feel like you will get your point across more, and you will be more of I feel like you'll be more of an effective writer if you use good grammar, and if you just know how to write a good sequence of sentences. And plus, you don't know who's going to read that. You don't know what people are going to think. If you send out an email to your entire company and you use poor grammar, that makes you look bad, and that's embarrassing. And they may not respond to you, like they may not point it out to you in the email, but people talk, and that gives off a bad impression that you can't communicate effectively in writing, and that just is not a good look. So being able to communicate well in writing will go a long way. The next thing on the list was influencing people. I'm a big sports guy. I love a good coach. Obviously, I'm an Ohio State fan. I really admire Urban Meyer. He's the head coach of their football team, and I think he does a great job of influencing people. I really pay attention to how he speaks, how he carries himself. He's always the smartest guy in the room. It seems like he's always really well spoken, really really thoughtful, really charismatic. I feel like that's a good leader. I mean, in any good boss I've ever had, I feel like they've been able to influence people. Certainly influence me. There are ones that you can relate to. You can go to with anything, and odds are they've been in your shoes now, and they know how to connect with you. And I feel like if you can connect with somebody, you can influence them. As an employee, if your manager gives you the impression that, like, hey, they have your support, and you can lean on, and you can go to your manager and have that connection, the impact from them, that you're on the same page with them, that does wonders for that employee. I feel like any great coach in sports, or any good teacher, or any good director of movies, or anything, they can really influence people. And when you influence somebody, you can get the most out of them. You can put them in a good spot to succeed, and when somebody thrives, and does so well, and it makes you feel good, to know that you influence that person to better themselves, to go from from here to here, So being able to lead effectively, and being a good leader, and being able to influence people is something that I feel like, no matter what you do, you should try to strive for it. Next on my list of things to talk about in this portfolio is reflecting on my undergrad career as a whole. Now, I've been in college off and on for about 10 years now. Ooh, that's kind of scary. But seriously, I've been in college for a while now. I graduated high school back in 2006. I enrolled in college right out of high school, just because I knew it was something that I wanted to do. Finishing college was something that was a goal of mine. Wasn't really sure what direction I wanted to go in as far as career, but I knew that if I applied myself, I was doing the right thing. I have attended three schools: University of Cincinnati, Claremont College, Northern Kentucky University, and now Eastern Kentucky University. I have taken a little over 40 classes. The first thing I thought I wanted to do was be in radiology, so I enrolled in some health classes, and I just the more I dug deeper into it, I knew it wasn't for me, so I quit that. And then I kind of bounced off of ideas, and I just kept going, and I just thought, what, I'll just keep going, and I can't give up now, like I know it's used to quit. But it really boiled down to, I needed that next step. I needed to feel like I needed to have a goal. It was a short-term goal to graduate with an associate's degree, and just to have something, have that paper to say, hey, here's what I got. So I knew I was close to finishing an associate's degree after 4 years. I know it takes a while, but whatever. But my next goal was I thought I wanted to do business, and business did not want any part of me. I enrolled in pre-business at NKU in the fall of 2010, and I was off to NKU at, like I said, in the fall of 2010. I took stats and econ class and then another econ class, and I thought, I don't want to do any of this. I don't like this. This is not me. I struggled. I did not do well. I changed that game up. I quit because I was a quitter back then. I enrolled in a professional development class, or I enrolled in a professional development major. With it being online, I did not have the discipline or the self-control to apply myself to do it. I just didn't do it. I got distracted by other things in life, and I ended up failing, and it really discouraged me from going anything further in my schooling career. So I took some time off, and then about the fall of 2014, so this time last year, I've been out of the game for a while. I need to get off the bench and go. And I came across EKU, and it was like light bulbs went off my head. Like, you can so do this, Graham. I've been in the general studies program for a little under a year now, about 10 months now, and it's going fantastic. It feels really good to know that I'll be done by like the end of the spring, so like May or June of next year. And looking back to where like my life was 4 years ago, and it was like, man, Graham, like, I don't know what you did back then, but I'm glad we got to this point. So yeah, my undergrad career has been not the best. I definitely feel like I wasted a lot of time. I mean, if I've been going to school off and on for 10 years, I might as well be a doctor, Don't want to do that. But I'm definitely glad that I've kind of came out the other side on things, and I'm almost done. So I definitely learned a lot in this as an undergrad. I often reflect on where I was when I was 18, and I was honestly just a kid with no direction. I've had some really good teachers kind of push me along the ways, and I've had some classes that have challenged me. And lastly, what is my next step to continue to grow professionally? My next step, once I graduate, I want to do well in the rest of this term and my final term. And my next step I would like to get my master's. I feel like it's something that I feel like it would be a great investment for me. An online master's program that is healthcare informatics. Okay, my overall professional career goal is to work in a hospital on the more clerical information, on more of the clerical administrative side. That could be in HR, that could be in some sort of coordinator position, but I think ultimately I really like computers, and I really like the charting software and the charting programs. We use Epic. It's a charting software, and it really intrigues me. I'm kind of done with the patient care side of things. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be anywhere in the patient care side. That's just not me. I've done it for a while now, and I just don't see myself doing it the rest of my life. Having that master's program in the healthcare informatics would be a really good investment. I know you make a lot of money having a master, given there's a job there. I feel like that would put me in the right spot for a better career, in that setting I want to be in. I've already been at this hospital for, like I said, 2 years. So given the master's program takes me 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years even. I feel like if I could get a job in a lower level office position there, like a coordinator or somewhere to kind of get in the door and get on that track, being outside of the patient care stuff, but being in more of the clerical setting, I believe I could know the landscape, know the lay of the land and how things work, and work towards that master's degree and get to know people, get them to know me as well. I feel like my next step would be get my master's, and also getting out of patient care. But for right now, I'm really focused on doing well in these classes, finishing my degree, and looking for a non-patient care job at the hospital. But long term, I definitely want to get my master's degree and in healthcare informatics. I think I would definitely enjoy that. So that's just a little more about me in my portfolio for this project. I covered my strengths from Strengthfinder. I discussed my thoughts and feelings on what I was able to take away from the book, which is 10 Things Employers Want You to Learn in College. I also went over my undergrad career, and I also was able to reflect on my next step as far as my professional career, which does include more academics, so that's always good. So thanks for watching.